Hi, it's Diana, homemaker and metaphysician. And I want to talk about this new year, 2025. Now, I'm normally a very positive person, but about a month before Christmas, every time I thought about celebrating Christmas, I just had this kind of dread that it would be the last normal Christmas, to put it kind of bluntly, really. And I'd never felt that way before. And it worried me. It really worried me. And it kept coming again and again. I tried so hard to get in the festive mood because it's one of the few times of the year where so many people are jolly, and you've got the lights in the streets and in people's homes and things like that, and it kind of pulls you out of the mundane for a little while. So I really wanted to enjoy that feeling. I even started listening to Christmas carols on YouTube to get me in the mood. And I mean, I really love Christmas carols, but every time I tried to get in the mood, it just wasn't there. And even like my birthday is the day after Christmas, my birthday is the 26th of December. So even that was like, bleh, it was just, there was absolutely no energy whatsoever to that feel, like that Christmas feeling. And I pondered on that, and I wondered, why is it like this? What is this dread of foreboding that I keep feeling? And it seemed, how shall I put it, that even though it seemed to be, to me, the last normal Christmas that we would have before something big happens in 2025, this year, I still couldn't make myself enjoy this last normal Christmas as my mind made it feel to be. And so, as a metaphysician and a numerology consultant, I've studied and taught this for many, many years, lectures, seminars across London, and even on local radio shows. So I thought, let me look at the numbers, 2025. And I did a short video on the 29th of December mentioning about how people should take care of the vehicles and make sure that they're in good working order before they get in them, because 5 is about movement, and because the whole world is run on numbers, and those behind the scenes manipulate the negative energy for numbers and anything else for their own gain. And so, as the new year started, oh my goodness, the very first day of a new year, you had that incident, shall we call it, in New Orleans, and also on the same day with Trump Towers, right? And both involving vehicles. So if you want to pop and see that video I did just, was it 4 days ago, the 29th of December, and 2024. So I looked and I thought that all numbers are positive, have positive energies, but as I said, they have been manipulated to cause um, detriment, really, to us or society. And I mean, unless you actually just focusing on I don't know, no, not to really like upset anybody. So I'll try and rephrase that. I think with all the wars and all the kind of crazy things that's been happening and speeding up and occurred in 2024, that at least most people should realize that there is this kind of, if you want to call it, unseen war, unseen battle going on to take away all the goodness and love and care, in the atmosphere, and get people to live in a state of fear all the time, because this state of fear benefits those who like to hide behind the scenes but manipulate events. And a lot of people, or too many people, don't recognize that these things are planned to happen. There is a particular agenda for the minds of people, to control the minds of people. And I kind of feel sorry for those who don't recognize this. And we have a tendency as a people that if something horrible doesn't happen to us, if we hear like something bad happened somewhere, most of us will say, "Oh, that's so sad," and we go along until it actually happens to us. And I suppose in a way it's a way to block out the badness, because there's so much. I know there is a lot for a lot of people to deal with, but because, as I said, 2025, or the numbers, they are all they all carry a particular energy and a particular message and a particular vibration, and they really are for the people, the collective, to tap into once you know the knowledge and use for our highest good. And just to pop back to like 2001, as soon as 2000, one came in, we had that 9/11 event in the US that changed so much and gave them, or they gave themselves, the ones in charge, the power to spy on people basically, and limit people, ability to do certain things. And it was to traumatize that two energy, which is all about love and care and mediation and balance and rhythm and all things sweet and loving. Okay. So they let 2000 go by, the year 2000, but as 2001 came in, that whole, the whole, that number energy, excuse me, was sullied. And so this is how they do it. And I knew as 2025 came in that they would plan, they had something planned, something negative plan, because they follow a pattern all the time. Once you know the numbers, once you study them for as long and for as deeply as I have, you will recognize certain like trends, and you might not always know exactly where they might do it, but you know something drastic is going to happen on a particular day, a particular month, a particular year. So there's a lot to unpack with 2025. And we had, as I said, like the two now, we're going to have the two for, is it, um, how many decades are we going to have, the two as, the first number of the year. until we go into the year 3000. We got 2099, so we've got all that time. And so they sullied that energy from the very beginning of the 2000 year series of numbers. Does that make sense? So um now, five is about the celestial messenger, but it is also about travel and communication. So, when you have travel, we're talking about vehicles of all kinds, okay? Even motorbikes and bicycles. So, we're talking about planes and trains and coaches and ships and boats and yachts. And in communication verbally, we have um, telephones, even speech, right? Where people's words could be misconstrued. But basically, on a wider scale, on a larger scale, we have communication satellites. We have um, the internet. So anything that deals with communication, the negative energy has been activated to cause all kinds of disruptions along the lines of what I've just spoken about. And I don't know how many of you listening have, knowledge of numerology, how the numbers work. But as I said, five is five deals with so much in terms of all communication on all levels. And its power lies in the fact that it's smack in the middle of the series of 1 to 9. It's the middle number, right? So it's kind of like on a pivot right there. But also it's a really interesting number because if you look at five, it looks it has more to it in its shape than all the other numbers, really. And that really is a subject for another time because that's quite deep, really. But not only have we got five, but we've got 25, which is 5 times 5, okay, which is the square of 5. But five also deals with like the entertainment industry as well. And I when I saw what happened in New Orleans on New Year's Day, and if you know about symbolism as well, we started a new year, and this particular incident in New Orleans, what's the name of the first word? New. So they're telling you that they're starting something new in a new year, which is going to be really negative. And so, what the controllers have done is to taint the whole year with the energy of deaths, where so many people on this day in New Orleans lost their lives and was injured. So that energy will flow into the whole year until the 31st of December 2025. That is how the energy and vibration works. And the only way that um, this could be negated in a way in terms of not flowing all the way through into the 31st of December 2025 is if enough of us, the people recognize that this is what happens, when anything good or bad happens, the energy flows, and 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 enough of us focus on it and try to block that energy from flowing with positive energy. So when we think of this this event that happened, what we should do, instead of getting angry about it, we should send some love and energy around it to dissipate that negative flow that's flowing across the planet. And the thing with negativity, it will, like the wind, it touches everybody. And you might not know that certain things that could happen to you is because of this negative event that occurred. And that is why I always say to people that before you go out of your house every day, before you step foot out of your house, send love and light ahead of you. Surround yourself with love and with light. Do it for yourself, for your family, for your siblings, your children, your animals. Do it for the vehicles that you might be traveling on, a bus, a car, a train, a plane, whatever, because too many of us don't realize that we have to protect ourselves from psychic energy, negative psychic energy, because if it was raining heavily and you had to go outside in it, you had no choice, you had to do something out there, right? You would put on maybe a raincoat, boots if you had, an umbrella, something like that. So you would dress for the weather. So, what we have to do every day is dress for the psychic weather. And because things are out there that are happening that, unless you're actually open psychically, like myself, and there was a time when I wasn't as open as I am now, and in a way, I'm glad in one sense, and I'm not in another, because I can't remember a real ordinary day that I've lived, and I'm always kind of living in two worlds at the same time. But the upside of this, the positive side, is that it allows me to help others and have an idea what's going to happen before it happens. So, because many people might not uh, know or see, that something negative could happen to them unless they protect themselves before they leave their house, and also protect your house, by the way, that they just go out, out into the wide unknown, shopping, going to work, going for a walk, exercising, whatever, without putting on that spiritual armor, or that spiritual armor to shield them from the negative psychic energy that is always out there. So be aware that both the good and the bad, when people release like jealous emotions, emotions of anger, and all the other negative low vibration emotions, they are floating around out there, ready to hook onto somebody who is vulnerable. You might be ill, you know, you might be intoxicated, and so your natural defenses are lowered, and then you come home and you come in the house and you feel a certain way, you don't know why you're feeling it. You might even feel a bit dirty and you have to have a bath, and or irritated, and you're just wondering why. And it's simply because you're picking up and bringing home all that psychic negative debris that's clinging to your aura. So getting back to 2025 now, this is such a serious, serious thing, because what they've done, the controllers, that they have released the energy of death via traveling. And then we have, as I said before, the man who is supposed to be coming in for the next president of the United States. You have a fiery accident outside his tower. And that is very symbolic when you think about it, the burning tower. Well, not the towers that burnt, but the incident was, it happened right outside in front of his tower. And a tower is, something that collects a lot of energy. And I don't want to make this video too long, but that's just to kind of give you a little example of what to expect. And I don't really want to leave it on a negative note, but don't take things for granted and take this so serious. Before you leave your home, bless yourself, surround yourself with your favorite color light. Put yourself in a bubble, a balloon of love and light. And what's your most favorite protective symbol? And also bless your home. Bless everything in it. It's not going to take you too long, and you will feel so much better, because when you bless things, or should I say bliss them, it makes you feel so light and energized. And do it for children before they leave the house, maybe to go to school. Bless the school, you know, and basically, because five is such a powerful number in terms of like agitating things. We don't want to agitate things for the negative. A good thing about this, like a positive part of the five, would be walking down the road and somebody say to you, "Oh, what a lovely outfit you're wearing," or "I love your hair," or "Can I give you a hug?" It's very kind of tactile like that. The positive side is very kind of sensuous and loving and open. So I will kind of leave you with that. But as I said, be aware that 2025, they've opened a gate for really, really um, negative uh, things to happen. Powerful, disruptive energy is what they've released on the planet on the very first day of a year that is dominated by movement, physical and unseen, spiritual, whatever uh, term is good for you. But seen and unseen, basically, that's what it's about. That's what they've released onto the planet. And there is, if you want to use the word, spiritual warfare going on out there. And it's a battle for people's minds and their hearts, and to take away all that is loving and positive, because I've seen how the war for our mind and our soul has been really heating up, and I think it's going to get to a crescendo in this year of 2025. So I think with that, I will leave it, and I will say, all the best to you. Take care of yourself, and please take this information really seriously in terms of, protecting yourself. And as I said, you might not know how to protect yourself. You might say, "Well, Diana, I'm not sure how to do that." But as I said, a simple way is even to mentally draw a circle around you. And in that circle, you put anything that you love, your favorite color. You could even imagine that you've got something in there that is a place, something that somebody has given you with love, a favorite, whatever it is. So it's in there with you. It's almost like you're creating a little room around you, and you put all your lovely thoughts of anything lovely that's happened to you, anything like that will protect you and go a long way to protecting you. So, with that, I will say, again, take care, look after yourself, bliss everything around you. I'm using the word bliss because although bless has got lovely feelings around it, the word is very powerful. It's saying be less of you. So take care, bless yourself and everyone around you. Okay. Diana, thanks for listening.